Opening the phones back up for you to sound off on whether Illinois should be split into two. 3 more Illinois counties approving a non-binding resolution to do just that. Brown, Hardin, and a portion of Madison County choosing overwhelmingly. Close to 75% of residents in those counties who were asked this question in Tuesday's election in favor of the idea. So let's get your calls at 217-629-7970. What do you think about this? Is this something that you like, this idea? Before we do get to your calls, let's hear from G.H. Merritt. She is the chair of New Illinois, and she talked with one of my colleagues about this issue. And in particular, what this ultimately means. Here is G.H. Merritt laying out the concerns.
Our state government has been corrupt, or ways in which the people outside of the Chicago and Cook County have been disenfranchised by the state government.
And she says that a driving force behind the movement is that many Southern Illinoisans want to be heard regarding issues that affect the state and taxpayers.
You have this movement in Illinois, you have it in California, you have it in New York, you have it in Colorado. It's because the people in the rural areas don't have a voice meaningfully in the government.
I think a lot of people across the state realize that much, especially when it comes to the issues of gun control, the issues of access to abortion, the issues of just general state spending and more, school curriculum being another issue. And then when you look at the map overall of Illinois, saw a funny meme that shared a picture of a blue shirt. It said, "This is a blue shirt," but it wasn't a blue shirt. It was a wholly red shirt with just a few blue notches in it, seeming to represent Illinois' map when it comes to outcomes of elections. Cook County, Chicago, very much blue, but most of the rest of the state outside of densely urban areas, very much red. So again, G.H. Merritt laying out the concerns that she says people have, and they're looking to possibly move some kind of resolution forward to split the state in two. Here's G.H. Merritt.
We don't use the word secession because that's not what this is. It's legally something different. We're trying to form a new state. And we're not trying to kick Chicago out of Illinois. We're trying to kick ourselves out of Illinois.
So now I want to hear from you at 217-629-7970. That's the phone number here with Springfield's Morning News. You can also email bishoponair@gmail.com. And this brings the tally of counties up to a total of 27 of 102 counties across the state that have advanced a non-binding resolution that ultimately means allowing for these counties to further investigate how to coordinate with other counties. Now, it's a pretty precarious path forward. It's really unclear as to how this works, but the general assumption is that states would pass certain resolutions and then get Congress to sign on board, and then that would be the path forward. But is that something that's likely ever going to happen? You've always heard about, say, for instance, making D.C. a state or making Puerto Rico a state. Well, what about splitting a state like Illinois into two, one being Illinois and another one being New Illinois? Let's hear from you at 217-629-7970. Good morning. You're on WMAY.
Well, good morning there. As far as splitting the state up, we don't really need to do that. What we need to do is change our our voting processes to the point to where you win a county. And if you win that county is Republican or Democrat, and you go by who wins the most counties. That way the state stays the same. You get the popular vote of each county, but then the counties decide that if there's 100 counties that are Republican and 2 counties that are Democrat, then the Republican wins.
So you're kind of laying out a somewhat micro electoral college type system, which across the country means that states get a certain number of electoral votes for president, and it's based on population. But a lot of these states actually do winner takes all, and they don't really do the proportional electoral college for states as it could be done. So you think that that's a way forward for Illinois?
I think it's the best way forward for Illinois. You get the popular vote per per county, and then you decide from how many counties won. And you've got the way the people have spoken.
Well, it's an interesting proposal, something I've given a little thought to myself, but trying to get that across it might be just as difficult as trying to split the state into two, because what you're ultimately saying is that we wouldn't be a true democracy in the state of Illinois, where one vote is one person. You're saying that more weight should be given to rural areas than to urban areas, and that takes away the power of the vote in the urban communities. So I don't know if that's necessarily something that's going to be popular in an idea. But what do you think? Should Illinois split the state into two? We've heard about this in the past, and a lot of people point to, well, Chicago's a major driver for the state's economy. So if Chicago and Cook County were to split off, stay Illinois, but have the rest of the state be new Illinois, then some are saying that the rest of the state wouldn't get the financial benefit from the main economic driver of the city of Chicago. And there's been all kinds of different reports done showing that, rural Illinois gets a lot more tax dollars per capita than urban city centers like Chicago and Cook County. But ultimately, you have people saying that, when you look at how much money the city of Chicago gets from the state of Illinois, especially when it comes to education funding, that might be offsetting some of those other dollar amounts that you see reported. So listen, regardless of the financial aspect of this, I think it comes down to policy issues and the issues like gun control. You've got the Democrats and Governor J.B. Pritzker saying they want to ban assault weapons, while the rural parts of the state are more in line with saying, hey, the Second Amendment means the right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. When it comes to school curriculum, you have downstate school districts pushing back on what they see as an agenda for extreme ideology being pushed into their schools from a top-down approach. From abortion as well. You've got a lot of people outside of Cook County and Chicago that don't like the idea of parental notification being repealed, as it has been in Illinois. But all of those concerns seem to be pushed to the side as Democrats have the supermajority in both chambers of the Illinois State House. And now they're going to be even more emboldened heading into the next General Assembly. And that's, I think, going to make this the situation that much more, in a way, crystallized to where you see the support for splitting Illinois into two, new Illinois being downstate Illinois and Illinois being Cook County and Chicago. Again, 27 counties moving forward with this idea, non-binding resolution saying, hey, work with other counties to see how we can make this happen. But obviously, it's not something that's going to happen overnight. So we'll watch that space closely as well. It is Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop on